All right, I'm Matt. I take care of these rotten little Binturong here at Roger Williams Park Zoo, and this is sort of just a follow-up on our Binturong litter from last year. The triplets were born March 8th of 2019. They're a little over a year old now, and if you remember, we had one of them who wasn't getting the milk she needed to thrive, and so spent a fair amount of time in the hospital. That one is Thistle. And as you can see, as she climbs up onto the roof of the shade structure, which they're not supposed to do, she's doing just fine. In fact, in the past year, Thistle has more or less become just another Binturong kid. She messes around with her keepers just as much as the other two. We have Bramble, who is right up here. Brammy! Bram, Bram! Bram, Bram! So this is Bramble, who's the middle child. And she is also doing well. She's the heaviest right now, but Thistle is a very close second. And this is Nettle. Hey, Nettie. Net. And that's their food bowl. I just fed them breakfast, so they're a little interested in that right now as well. There's probably still some kibble. Come on, Tiss. And you can see how agile they are, those Binturong traits, that prehensile tail and what have you. Here comes Thistle. And so she's developed her mother's coloration a little bit more with that brindling on her face and her sides. But she has her father's face. I know these are probably things most people don't care about, but they're very individual. And you can look at her sister Nettle right here, who also has a very grayish face, but she's got a nice long snout. She's lighter, she's shyer. And then you can look at little Bramble, who's got that tan head, and she's very heavy. Nice black coat there. And they enjoy interacting with the keeper staff quite a bit. We'll give them some grapes. We will kind of play with them a little bit cautiously. Their claws are still incredibly sharp. And Mom usually just watches. That's her up there, Poppy, keeping an eye on things. All three of them will be going to other zoos. Bramble and Nettle were slated to head out this spring, but obviously with the situation with COVID-19, things are on hold, so they'll be leaving probably in the fall when Thistle was scheduled to leave. And we'll give Mom and Dad a chance to be back together again, and we may have another set of Binturong next year, is the hope right now. And now they're just scrounging for food. There is another spot that they enjoy going. Hi, Nettie. Hey, Pops. Come on, Tiss. And there's always that fascination with the food bowl and hats and shoes. Oh, I got you. Yes. And they've become very good being touched, being handled. It makes things good for the next zoo that they go to. Depending on the circumstances of the holding of that zoo, these Binturong will be very easy to maintain in what's called a free contact system. We don't need a barrier between us. They're acclimated to people to the extent that you can go in the enclosure with them. Yep. And they're still obsessed with all the smells of the other animals from the zoo that I work with. And apparently other individuals from the zoo who happen to be filming them. Yes, so if you look too, you can see, well, no, you can't. I was going to say we had some challenges determining if they were boys or girls in the beginning, because Binturong have a very curious anatomy. And we are fairly certain that they are all three girls still, but there's always room for a surprise. So we continue to try to check whether they are boys or girls for certain as they grow and develop, and especially once they are a little bit closer to adulthood, it should be fairly obvious. It's already fairly obvious, I guess, but it'll be more obvious. Yes. Hi, Nettie. Hi, Nettie. So I hope everybody is doing well out there, and we hope to see you again at the zoo real soon. Oh, Net. Oh, who's this kid? There's Grammy. Is Thistle still lurking? Yes. Do you want to come on? Do you want to come on and say hi? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Not so much, huh? What if I do this? You gonna come on? There she is. Okay. Yes. Do you want to look at Corey now? There she goes. And one last view of rotten little Thistle doing what she used to do when she weighed a lot less than she does right now. Although her claws were still as sharp. Good girl. Good girl.